Welcome to CSBP Market Update. I'm Ben Sudlow and I'll be giving you an update on the global market and how it relates to the Western Australian market. Clearly the most important nutrient that we can see over the coming months is going to be the importation and supply of nitrogen, both urea and Flexi-N. Given that most of this is used post-emergently, this happens to be the most amount of product that's still to be imported in the coming months. As we go to this period, we can see that there's going to be a number of ships purchased over the next 6 to 8 weeks, and the question being asked right now is what is happening to price? And look, having been in the fertiliser market for a number of years, and the view of most markets is there's a case with which prices may go up and may go down. And as prices move over the next couple of months, as all these urea shipments and Flexi-N shipments gets priced and imported, almost every one of them is guaranteed will be different from the one before and the one after. Right now, there's an Indian tender on. The Indian government are coming out into the market and asking people to bid for supply into their April and May demand. A whole lot of product is positioned to go into that tender. Of course, this can have two effects on the market. As we lead up to Easter, this tender will close in coming days, and what that will mean on the positive side, they tender for a whole lot of volume and there's a whole lot of supply, there's got an impact on price. And nitrogen prices in the main have been drifting down in recent weeks, and this critical turning point right now is that we may see prices drift lower. So the price may turn up, start increasing again in coming weeks should the tender be less than expected, and suddenly we see a whole lot of demand coming through markets, both Australia, probably the US, and probably in some parts of South America. For some years after Russia invaded Ukraine, the differential between urea and UAN, Flexi-N, blew out to levels we haven't seen for some time, meaning that UAN was relatively overpriced compared with urea. We've seen in recent months, as urea prices have increased, UAN prices have stayed relatively stable, which means Flexi-N now is as affordable relative to urea as we've seen in probably a couple of years. Right now, in coming weeks, importers are looking at securing shipments and are looking to growers for what they may demand themselves. We work very hard with our customers to make sure they forecast their demand, but what we're also seeing now is a bit of a sentiment, look, it's sort of got a little bit dry, the outlook for rain in coming weeks doesn't look fantastic, and perhaps there's a little bit of caution about how much product they may want to secure on one side, and some confident maybe if the price is drifting down, I may get a lower price if I wait. This is not dissimilar to the instance that was seen in the East Coast last year, where exactly that played out. Prices were drifting down, customers were not committing to their nitrogen, and the suppliers thought, well, if we're not getting forward commitments, why should we go and buy the product and price the product, import the product for demand which was uncertain in a market that where the sentiment had turned. The season did pick up very well in the East Coast last year, as many of you will remember, and that left the market unable to get product in quick enough to meet what was a very uptick in demand, and many farmers in that market ended up not getting the nitrogen they needed, which left many with not being able to realise the yield potential they'd set up in their crops. Clearly the most important thing is to make sure that you've contracted your nitrogen early enough so the importers can organise to get the shipments here in time, and to avoid the circumstance that happened on the East Coast last year where yield potential was probably not realised in many circumstances. Thanks for listening to the CSBP Market Update. I look forward to speaking to you next time.